machine shop. We have several root plows on our yard today, so I thought I'd make a video of why they're different and why they're different sizes. We've got from the smallest root plow to the biggest one we've made to date in our series of plows. We've made a couple plows bigger than this one, but they were the trunnion pull root plows on the big D8s and D9s. But these are our style of root plows, and we have two. This is the A series root plow, and then we have the G series, and I'll explain the difference in that. So this is the smallest root plow we build. It's only as wide as your outside ripper pockets on your dozer, and this is for the John Deere 450 through 650 and a D3 through a D5 bulldozer. So those bulldozers are so small they can't pull a big plow, and if you do put a big plow on them, you'll burn up their transmissions and engines. So we designed a plow small enough to still spot grub, grub individual trees, but yet still big enough to do traditional root plowing. And they work really well, and people that have them really like them, and they don't burn up or put too much stress on their machines. So that's where the A series comes in. We do put all of our standards, or whatever you want to call them, but we call them standards. They're on the outside of the plow. There's no plow sticking out past our uprights or standards, and that keeps nothing from obstructing the flow of dirt and brush through the plow. There's nothing worse than being clogged up all the time and having to back up and waste your time. You make your money going forward, not backwards. While you always do have to stop and clean them out every now and then, it's very rare with our plows, and that's what we designed them for. So this is your small root plow for light to medium regrowth mesquite. For those of you who don't know, regrowth mesquite is the regrowth, or the mesquite that grows back after you've knocked down the original tree. A mesquite grows with one trunk, but when you knock it down, it comes back as a bush, and that's why it's so important to root plow it. And fighting mesquite's an endless battle, but if you clear the land and root plow it, you can maintain what comes up with spray. So like I said, this is our smallest plow for the John Deere 450 through 650 and the D3 through D5. And as we move back, we get a little bigger into our mid-size root plows. This is for an 850K. This is when you're getting into the bigger jobs. Really, if you're going to go into the land clearing business, I wouldn't go any smaller than an 850. When you get into these plows, you're like doing your personal stuff, small jobs, or a big root plow is too big. You can get into tight spaces and grub or plow with these, but you're not really doing large acreage with these where you're making a lot of money. This is more for the guy that's doing his own stuff and has a small dozer and stuff like that. But when you're in the business of clearing, I always tell people don't go smaller than an 850. A 750 will do the job, and we'll take a little smaller plow than this. The 750 plow would be right here and would be a little smaller than this one. I don't have one of those on the yard today. But this is where you're starting to get into the bigger jobs, where you have a clearing business, and maybe you're just starting out. And the 850 is a good dozer to start with. So this would be your size for an 850 or like a D6T bulldozer. Okay. Here you have a 9-foot plow. Most people don't want to go too big on an 850 for the same reason as this little one. You can burn up those hydrostatic transmissions if you have too much plow back here. So 9 to 10 feet works really good. We just built a 10-footer for the new 850L, and it pulls it like a champ. And a D6T is a good bulldozer too, but there's some differences there that I'll talk about in a minute. But this is our mid-size, starting to get into the big boys, but still on the smaller side. Then back here, we have the big ones, and this is an 11-foot root plow for a John Deere 1050K, okay? This is the biggest dozer John Deere provides, and they're very big, and they're very strong, and I think they equate to about a D9, in between a D8 and a D9 with their weight and strength. So you need a heavy-duty plow. We built two for the 1050. One actually just left here, and I wish it was still here because it was even bigger than this one. But this is so far in our G series of root plows, this is the biggest plow we've built. This and that other one, it's not here. But here you're talking The John Deere 950 through 1050 could easily handle this plow, and the 1050 could probably even handle a 12 to 14 foot plow. But this one's only 9, and it's quite a bit wider than the track still, which is what you want. So it does a good job. These are just here for some modifications we're doing on it. We came up with some different ways, always trying to improve our stuff. So even though they hadn't broke, we had them come in and do the modifications just so that they're even stronger and better than they were before. But they cover a lot of acreage with this up in Ensenada, Texas for Rod Lewis Energy. This is who this belongs to. And yeah, so you're getting into big dozers, you need a big strong plow, and these are definitely good. The RG series root plows are the only candy cane style root plow that can compete with the old trunnion pull plows of the past. While those dozers are still going, they're harder and harder to get parts for, and people are buying newer and newer dozers. So if you're really serious about land clearing and you're wanting to be big one day, you need a 950 or 1050 to really plow the acreage. You know, when you're getting into big thousands of acres of plowing, you need a dozer that can run all day, every day without overheating and without burning up engines and transmissions. So you need a big dozer and you need a big plow, because the wider your plow is, the faster you get done. But this would fit, like I said, 950 through 1050 or a D7 through D9, most likely this plow would fit. Now there are differences between John Deere and Caterpillar, and anyone that's followed me knows how I feel. You will, on the 850 and down and the D6T and down, a John Deere will out plow a Cat all day long. And the reason for that is not that it's a better machine, and it's not that it's not stronger, but it's their ripper bars. So John Deere has the Vail ripper, either a 3-pocket or 5, and their ripper bars are 5 times the ripper bar that Cat has on theirs. Cat cannot compete with John Deere when it comes to their ripper bars. The Vail ripper trumps the Cat ripper bar, okay? In size, strength, and pistons. And pistons, what's important. John Deere has 2 pistons to help push this plow into the ground, where a Cat on a D6T and smaller only has 1 piston. And they often have trouble putting a plow in the ground and keeping it there. Now our plows are designed to not raise up out of the ground. A lot of plows, if they're designed wrong, and I won't name names, but they want to come out of the ground. Ours will never do that. Once you get them in the ground, they look to go down. So if anything, you're having to pick up on it to keep it from digging too deep. But I tell everyone, if you're going to go D7 and smaller or 950 and smaller, go with the John Deere. I'm not saying John Deere is a better machine as a whole. What I'm saying is you will out root plow a Cat all day, every day. And that's also because a John Deere ripper bar raises up 20 inches higher than a Cat does. Okay? And height is important when you're root plowing, because the higher your ripper goes, when you're 18 inches deep, the higher it is off the ground. And that allows for more flow. So with a John Deere dozer, your ground doesn't have to be as clean as it does with a Cat. Because when you're 18 inches deep in a Cat, D6 and down, your ripper bar is really close to the ground. And that really obstructs. So when you're plowing with a Caterpillar, D6 and down, you need the ground to look like this road here. Okay, you need it clean. Where with a John Deere, you can leave it a little dirtier. You can still have trees laying there, and they'll flow through the plow, where it won't so much with the Caterpillar, okay? Now that being said, when you get 850 and up and D7 and up, that changes. So the D7 through D9 and the John Deere 950 and 1050 have a whole different ripper bar design. They almost match each other. And they have 4 pistons. You've got 2 to push in the ground and 2 to adjust the pitch on your ripper bar, which is great. So in the D7 and up and the 950 and up, they're neck and neck. There, the Caterpillar might outshine the John Deere. But those are great for big jobs. I tell everyone, if you're gonna really get into it and you really want to root plow with a Caterpillar and make money, you need a D7 or bigger, okay? Because the D6, while I think it has more power, will not out root plow a John Deere 850, okay? And I know this from years of experience, years of watching. You will always outplow anybody with a John Deere 850 versus a D6 of any model. Okay, so keep that in mind. And like I said, you got to have a plow for every situation. So we've got the little guys here for the little dozers for the small time guy that's just starting out. And you know, like I said, with these you can spot grub, pick an individual tree, pull it out, or you can root plow. All right. And you get into the bigger ones. If I had a John Deere 750 here, that plow would be here and it would be in between these, and that would fit like a D6N and a 750. The D6N, they're smaller on like the 150 horsepower, and where it probably wouldn't pull this. Now a D6T would pull this easily, but the D6N wouldn't. Okay, and you get to the 850 for your bigger jobs, for the guys that are really wanting to make some money clearing. You need at least an 850, okay? So keep that in mind. And then you get up here, and we have not built a plow yet for a 950 or a D7, but this is where that plow would be. And then when you get into the D8s, D9s, D10s, and 11s even, you'd get this plow or even bigger, all right? So I just wanted to show you all this, and we can build root plows to fit just about any machine. Except a case. We don't like building for case dozers. Their ripper bar setup's real wacky and very hard to do. But John Deere and Cat are doable. Just keep in mind what I said about the D6T and down as far as their ripper bars and their single piston, which is really going to put a damper on your plowing. So the more pistons you have to help you go down, the better you are, especially in hard ground. And the height of your ripper bar has so much to do with doing a good job plowing. So, like I said, just keep that in mind, and if y'all ever need anything, y'all know where to reach us.